Hi, I'm Katrina, and I'm the founder of Solomon's Porch Ministry in Oklahoma City. We are starting a series of podcasts called Hope Rising. And in this series, we are going to find out that hope is just not a message. It is the hands and the feet and the heart and the love of Christ going out onto the streets of the Oklahoma City and surrounding areas and reaching out to those that society has forgotten or they ignore. We believe that every person deserves dignity in life. And that is one of the things that we are chasing down in Solomon's Porch Ministry. And today I have with us a very special volunteer, one of the very special volunteers. Her name is Stacey Blake. Welcome, Stacey, to our new podcast.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, just wondering, what or when did your eyes first get opened to the unhoused community and the issues that they face?
It was kind of a convergence of many things that were going on in my life at that time, but kind of, I've been aware of it. I've grown up in Oklahoma City all my life. I lived in other places, but and I think I wasn't really aware of the homeless until I was probably around and got to adulthood, really in Oklahoma. Um, but just I had done some discipleship with a woman that during discipleship we had decided to take on a mission, and that was one of the first times that I had gone down to what is it the homeless alliance, yeah, and served there. And so that was kind of what started my thought process is how can I be the hands and feet of Jesus, to these people in our community. Didn't realize how prevalent it was until then. The Lord asks us to be his hands and feet, right? He's always been there for me as far as like, I'm going to say this world's pretty broken, right? And I've been through many trials myself. I've been homeless. I've been jobless. I've been carless. I've been, through difficult trials. And I think just learning to sit with him, hear his voice, and obey. And that's kind of what led me to this was this point where he was telling me, um, you don't have to be in leadership in a church to be affecting people in the community. I just want you to love on people. Just show my love to people. And so, what was funny is I started looking around who's doing this in our community. I had no clue. So, next Sunday at church, what do we have? But all these volunteer opportunities. And I saw your Solomon's Porch. And so I went and investigated a little bit more, and you were on the podcast with Pastor Rodney. And my heart was immediately drawn to you as a mother, that has gone through a series of issues with their children and addiction and things like that. So that's how the Lord just brought it together in that way.
Can you share a story of someone you met who depended on your why? Every time we have a motive to do something that God wills us or calls us to do, we impact people.
Mhm.
Can you think of a time that your obedience to this mission has impacted someone?
I was just say, just just the time spent praying there with the homeless down when we're feeding the homeless. There was a young man. I say young man. He couldn't be maybe in his 40s. That's dating me, right? I had noticed him and I sat down and prayed with him, and he was talking about his addiction problems. We talked briefly about addiction contributing a lot of times to homelessness, and that had been the case with this man. And he he was talking about all the broken relationships not having family, um, really nobody, he thought nobody loved him anymore. And so I asked him if I could pray for him. And one of the things that came out during that prayer was that, even though it feels like nobody loves him, we know that you do. And he started tearing up. And he was talking about going to rehab, and I was able to, talk to him about some of the experiences I've had. So, yeah, it brings me great joy just to sit with them, to hear their stories, just to give them that connection and that love that
Yeah,
they need.
that's so powerful. We can't undermine the power of relationships, the power of caring, the power of the invite. You
Yeah.
know, um, we don't know how impactful our words are to someone. What are some of the lessons you may have learned from the people that you serve? Because I know for me, every time I go out there to serve, I'm getting back as much as what I give to them. And it's it really affects me every month.
Yeah, it does me too. And I think some of the things I learned is that it's it's easy to sit back and judge, think that a person may not deserve the help, or they may have gotten themselves there, or you know I don't know, whatever
Yeah.
we can think of. But I know that no matter what they've been through, no matter how they got there, they still deserve the love that Jesus showed me.
If you could paint us a picture of what you would think a great future for the unhoused community would be, what would it look like through your eyes?
I could see communities of affordable housing, maybe just um, for those that are trying to get out of that cycle of being on the streets. I mean, they only need a bed and some hot water and some clean clothes, right? And they would be able to feel more stable, be able to enter back into the workplace. But once you're on the streets, it's very hard to get out of that spot. And some of us, it takes us a long time to hit that bottom, right? And so that to return from that is so hard. And sometimes if we can just bridge that little gap. And so I was thinking tiny home villages too,
Mm-hmm.
they're affordable. Um, and maybe just the stepping stone after rehab or whatever. We need the elderly. Maybe they can't work. So they could help maybe clean, organize the community, things like that, but transportation to and from medical and dental appointments, things just to give them that stability so that they can, make the step up and transition into who knows what, you
Yeah.
know?
One of the things I found out is that they don't have public transportation available to them unless they have a permanent home.
Wow.
So if they can't use a shelter to be able to go to the places you're talking about, and the vision of the tiny home and the church adopting people to come alongside, um, it goes back to that hierarchy of needs. Meet their needs first of physical, emotional, and spiritual, and they'll be more willing to hear about the God who loves them so much.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
think some people don't realize here how easy it is to fall to that point
it is. And how hard it is to get out.
to get out. Yeah.
Yeah,
And for those that are genuine and wanting to improve their life, and there's some that just can't, so they need at least safety and
right.
warmth and security for them. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
So, if you were to give anyone who's just starting out in this kind of ministry any advice, what would it be?
Hmm. Just do it. Just do it. Just follow your heart. Listen to God where He needs you to be, and just be there. I mean, I think a lot of it is just uh, open yourself up to be loving to others, hear them, listen. It doesn't take much. And the joy and the reward that comes back is so much more.
Yeah.
You know, going down there every month, like I come back fuller.
So, what would you say to the person who may be feeling a little burnt out
Yeah.
and is thinking about stopping?
I'd say take a break, take a break, but
Mhm.
don't give up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's always those that feel like that you feel like you're not seeing the fruit, or but it's only our job to plant, right? It's the Lord that makes it grow.
Mhm.
So it's each of us doing our own part. And if you're tired, yeah, take a little break. But I can't imagine that there's anything more rewarding than this. Yeah.
So, the heart and the strength and the wisdom that you've shared that we've talked about today reminds us that hope rises when we move in faith and action. I want to thank you so much for sharing your story and being here today. And thank you for your why and for serving consistently with Solomon's Porch Ministry. We appreciate you and we love you. And it's because of volunteers like you that we see hope rises in other people. And together we are impacting lives for the better
Yeah.
in the name of Jesus.
Well, thank you. I'm honored to be a part of it. I am just thrilled that you'll have me. So I'll continue as long as you'll have me.